Hey everybody, this is Seth from Coming Out Tarot. I want to do a quick it won't be quick. This is a recommendation for reading Tarot for Troubled Times by Shaheen Miro and Teresa Reed. This comes out July 1st. If you haven't already pre-ordered it, don't waste any more time. I'm going to tell you a little bit more why. When we look back, I think at pivotal moments in history, great change always seems to be in the aftermath. And I think what people fail to see is that that change is happening before the aftermath even gets there. It's before the climax. So change starts to occur, and then there are some people who are ahead of that, and there are some people who are not. And I think when they started this, they were ahead of the change. We're just getting to see it at a time when the experience of troubled times is already deeply, deeply upon us. So I think a lot like the High Priestess, Shaheen and Teresa have given us in this book what's on the scroll of the High Priestess. They're giving us the map to the water that we can't see that's behind the veil. They're giving us in this book a bonus compass to find our way through all of this. And I think it is something that should be required reading. It's for everybody. I even mentioned to Mitchell Osborne at one point, because he received a copy recently, said, I really expect that my copy of this is going to be bent. It's going to be like at a stage where things are just falling. The pages are going to be falling out. It's going to be marked up and written in the margins. It is going to be one of those works that I am constantly referring back to personally, and I'm looking forward to experiencing this thing falling apart. Luckily, I have also pre-ordered a digital copy of it so that I have the digital copy, because when this falls apart, I'll have something to refer back to, because I know it's going to. I think what's important is that not only this book is going to give you insight into your shadow work, but it's going to give you the opportunity to heal yourself. It's going to give you like it says, you're going to heal yourself and transform the world. But I think it is so much greater than that. This is a transmogrification of the soul. This is a change in personal connection. This is how we can newly approach our relationships, which is super important to me in the work that I do, especially lifting one queer relationship at a time in order to create a stronger queer community. This is something that has given me even more tools to take that further. For those of you that are working with four-legged people, this is going to change that. It's going to connect you to the earth beneath your feet, the air in your face, the water in your cup, and it's going to put fire in your belly. I hope you hear that energy in my voice. It's going to change the way you interact with the world. And in the written review, I'm going to share a lot more of the things that I love about how it was organized, how it was put together. But ultimately, I think what they've created is the exploration of certainly our shadow, but it's the exploration of our whole spirit. It's the manifestation of being and the discovery of the magic that is the life we're creating. And that's not light. That isn't easy. That's some heavy shit. And this little, like, what is it, 270 some page book not only draws you into a world that gives you the space, the creative space, the safe space to explore that, but it also gives you the tools you need in case things get to be too much, like helplines, trauma lines, so that you are surrounded by care, love, and ultimately the guidance that you need at that moment. So it is a 360 support system. And I also think that this is this is one of those books, kind of like those books that tarot readers or anybody else for that matter experienced in the 20th century, and we say these are the books we need, like anything by Rachel Pollack as a tarot reader, anything by Mary Greer as a tarot reader, or any of those self-help guru books that existed in the 20th century that we still see showing up on TV and in on shelves and still have those like platitudes that are the things that are supposed to take us to the next level. Well, this is 21st century. This is different. This is taking us into a new state of experience, not just for tarot, but how we interact with the world. And for those of us that get pushed into generational expectations and generational, what do you call it, like isms of what Gen Xers and millennials and Gen Ys and Zs, all the gens are, this takes all of that away. None of that doesn't even exist here. This allows us to be people who are struggling with an environment that is requiring us to interact with the world and each other differently. And when you don't know how to do that, this is the roadmap that's going to help you get there. Also, if you are not a tarot reader, you should also get this book. Yes, there's a lot of tarot stuff in there, but the theories, the concepts, the ideas are greater than a tarot deck. They're greater than flipping a card. And while I think this is important reading for any tarot reader to make sure that they've put their mask on first before putting a mask on somebody else by doing their tarot readings, this is just as important for people who are not tarot readers, because it'll cause you to go through an experience of self-reflection in ways that you may not have ever expected. So I do hope that tarot readers and non-tarot readers alike will find and read Tarot for Troubled Times.